Good morning, everybody. And again, I am thrilled to have the opportunity to be able to present to you guys this week's Mindset Monday. And it's fun. We have some international feel on the call today. So whether you're watching live or whether you're catching this on the podcast, it's super cool to see that we have got multiple Canadian friends with us today on the call, which is very exciting. But this week is really set on the idea of this is really the last week that sets up for January. And as a job seeker, there's a position there. As an existing individual working that's looking to pivot, there's a premise there. And then there's individuals who are uneasy about their current work that haven't even started the process. Maybe they feel the ground shifting underneath them. The foundation feels weak, right? All three of those individuals, this conversation is set for you. Because regardless of where you sit inside of that space, or even if you're a job seeker that's new to this, that's been laid off recently because of the massive tech layoffs, or an individual who's been seeking for some time, this is a good example of when you focus on a week, and every week is extremely important because it starts with making the right choices and the right mental choice. But this week, I think, carries a little bit more weight. Because for many real job seekers, this is the last push you have. This is it. If you go back, say 2 months ago, when Tina and I started the whole holiday push, we were really leading. All of those Mindset Mondays have led up to this week. And so as encouraged as I am and as excited as I am to see all of the progress that we have seen throughout the community, and man, last week was super fun. So if this is the first time you're really joining, seeing not just a handful of individuals, but really a large group of people staying so focused, so diligent, and then seeing that pay off over the last several weeks and months, and see offers come in, which all those celebrations are coming. Man, that's what this is all for. So what does this look like for you if you fall into those first several categories so that you can take advantage just like they did right now? And that's what we're going to discuss. Because hiring doesn't technically ever stop, right? Momentum does not disappear over the next week, but maybe the availability might shift. So this next, we'll call it 5 days, Monday through Friday, is really the last opportunity we have to show our gratitude, to do our proper outreach, to build out our strategic list and then execute on that list and talk to those individuals and make sure that we're doing it in a way that's showing availability and removing friction, but also showing how much we appreciate these individuals who've leaned into us in our careers, or individuals who can give us guidance because they've been there for us in the past. That's what we're focused on trying to do today. Now, let me be very clear with you and put reality where it truly is, right? Just like over the last several weeks or even months, we understand that December and November can feel like it's a little bit of a freeze, not just, no pun intended, for how cold it is here today. It can feel a little bit that the decision makers are unavailable. And panel interviews can be hard to assemble. Approvals slow down quite a bit, right? Onboarding dates can get shifted and moved that are unlike maybe what we're about to see in January and February. All of that can happen during these months. That's a reality. That's real, right? So we have to give grace. And the idea of this week is to give out that true grace to those individuals if they don't respond. This is not a Mindset Monday where we're gonna talk a lot about just what it means for the individuals that we're thinking about, but for ourselves. Give them grace to give yourself grace. If someone doesn't respond to you immediately, they might be traveling. If someone doesn't respond to you immediately, they may not be available right now. If they push it out till the start of the year, that's normal and natural. I don't want anyone to lose the right focus on what we're trying to do and miss out on the small wins, right? The idea here is we have to keep our mental focus on what's the purpose of what we're trying to create. We're working on building momentum for ourselves going into January and February. If we're not looking to find a job in the next week to 2 weeks, it's just not fundamentally mathematically plausible to think about that, right? The idea here is do not allow yourself yourself to take that information and go dark and say, well, I'll just start in January. Do not do that. Because those, just like what we said to those individuals 2 months ago and said, nope, don't give up. Go as hard as you can over the next several months. Stay focused. Work hard right now. Stay in the game. Nose to the grindstone. All you do that, your percentage chances of finding a job go up. And for those individuals that ended up doing that and getting through it, kudos to them. They did it. They succeeded and they've got jobs, right? They're going to have these closed out before the holidays. That's a massive victory. That's a lot of fun. But for all of us, as we look forward, now, how do we ride the wave and how do we catch that wave for us by working hard today? That's what this is about. We don't want to be scrambling on January 5th. That is the worst thing that we can do. We want to make sure that we put ourselves in the right mental state with reflection, discovery, and execution, and the right system and the right strategy in place for us so we can execute. So what does that really look like for this week, right? If you've been in the game and you've been actually applying, what applications can you follow up on, even if they're from months ago? Maybe there's a contact. Maybe there was a recruiter that you appreciated, and maybe you were rejected and you haven't learned, and we teach this quite a bit, of turning a loss to a lead. If you're interested in hearing that, shoot me a note. I'll help educate you in that, or you can find that in a resource library. But you want to follow back up with all of those individuals. Maybe there were some individuals you were reconnecting with several months ago. Get those conversations fired back up again. Let's get those warm conversations started, right? Maybe there were recruiters that they reached out to you and maybe they ghosted you. Why not send them a gracious message? Hope you have thanks so much for thinking of me. Have a great, happy holidays. Why not reach out to them? But even though they frustrated you, why not? What's the harm in it? The mental clutter of trying to think through all the reasons why you shouldn't do the things I just said, that's the part we have to eliminate. That is the killer of your confidence. That is what slows a job search down. No one, and I say this inside of our networking, no one can save you from this. You're the only one who could save yourself, right? But everybody can support you. But the only way those individuals can support you through this is at first you open the door and you give gratitude to those that can support you. We don't know why there might have been open loops, and it doesn't matter. This is your week to close them. It's not a concept of thinking through all of those emotions, right, that might have come to us, being frustrated, maybe angry, maybe the lack of follow-up from others. No, it's about leaning in so that you can help anyone else out there find a reason to support you. It's to open the door to support you. And when you eliminate some of the emotional confusion and you just focus in on facts, which is this person has helped me in the past, they reached out to me before, they saw value in my LinkedIn profile, they saw value in my resume, so they set up a meeting with me. No matter what that is, that gives you clarity. When you remove the emotional frustration and you focus just on data, there was a reason why they looked for you. That should give you the clarity and the confidence to take action, right? We can always judge new information as it comes in after the fact, but don't allow emotional confusion to cluster your thoughts. The next step of this is really thinking through what January could look like because of the action you take today. There's such a possibility for all of us that if we act well and we have a good, solid strategy this week. So if you don't know how to build a strategy, let me know. Let Tina know. We will set you up for this success. But build out that conversation strategy. Think through your warm, your cold outreach. Navigate through those individuals who can really help you get those conversations started. Move and shift those going forward. I was having a great conversation with one of our alumni, Jamie, this morning about what that looks like for her in her current work. How is she navigating in her current space to advance herself inside of her job? Who does she need to meet with? How does she overcome some of the challenges that she's going to see in her 2026? That's the same thing for all of us today. What is it that's going to unlock you? What's going to be the discovery process that you're going to discover about your missing strategy that you might have? And how do you then educate yourself, train yourself so that you can execute on that strategy through this discovery process going into January and February? That starts with conversation. That starts with opening that door. You're showing this unbelievable posture of openness to to learn and gather information. You're not pushy. You're truly professional in how you outreach, right? But you're letting them know that you're there for them so they can be there for you, right? Hope your family's doing well. Hope everything's going well. Hope you're ready for the holidays. Are you traveling? Just reaching out, thought of you. Thank you for X, Y, and Z. It meant a lot to me. You gave that to me. I'd love to get a coffee with you later. It's as simple as that. The next step is everything that I just told you is truly just putting it into motion. And I'm gonna do something I don't normally do. There are 3 things that I don't want you to do. I don't want anyone to mass apply for anything this week. I don't care how many jobs you see on there. Do not mass apply. Do not spray and pray, and do not over-engineer these plans. Do not overthink this. Do not dive too deep. Don't allow overthinking to stop from action. This is a week of execution. This is not a week of just deep strategy. These are individuals that you can connect with. This is a week for thoughtful messages. This is a week for tight storytelling of why 30 seconds or less, right? Of think about your elevator pitch and how does that come into a message? What's that look like, right? You're really leaning in on practice this week of what your 6 to 8 career stories are, and how do those 6 or 8 career stories matter to these individuals once the meeting's set. It's all about preparation through taking the action of movement this week. You'll notice for yourself that there's some key things that you're trying to work through. And these words can land a lot of different ways for all of us. But by doing these 3 very clean steps, you are confronting conflict. You're overcoming some feelings of failure. You're truly growing, not just in your strategy, but you're growing in that confidence. And right away, no matter if you get 50 messages out or 3 messages out, you're making an impact and a change. You're advancing yourself forward. If you just wait around for individuals to find your resumes, to find you on LinkedIn without building a network, I think you'll find yourself repeating these processes in January and February. It might work out for some of you, but if you get started today with networking and practicing early in January before you walk in the room with an interview, because you're having these real conversations with people who you do know and you do trust, then you're going to find that momentum. Now, I'm saying all this hard work and all this grind for this next week because I also want to recognize and I want to set us up for the ability to rest. And I think this is important as we get closer to the holidays. We all are going to spend time with friends and family. We're all going to have an opportunity to celebrate our different traditions and really lean in. And I know for me personally, this is one of my favorite times of the year. And even the year, in fact, I'll go back to the year that I was laid off. And the time I spent laid off, Christmas was definitely hard. It was different, but the amount of time that I had to lean into my family transformed the way that I saw our traditions and our cultures that I experienced with my family. I want you to know that rest is not quitting. Rest is not losing momentum. Rest is truly a part of performance. Think of yourself as an athlete. Sleep, recovery, and that mental downtime will help you with your focus. It'll help you with your overall ability to memorize and communicate. Your emotional regulation comes back. Good. Praise for that. We need that. And then your overall decision making will become much more clear, much faster, and ultimately will help you be prepared for those conversations come January. So how do you earn rest in this world? Like, how do you give yourself that ability to say, I did? It comes first from action, from execution. You work with intention right now, today, tomorrow, the next day, and you keep going with that until it's your time to rest. Maybe you're going to rest. I'll be here next Monday. I'll be available for everybody. But I will start to slow down Tuesday. And then, of course, I'm going to rest after that. I'm going to spend that time with the family, and I hope you guys do too, right? Recovery only comes from discipline. You can just take the day off, but you won't feel rested. If you work with intention and you work hard and you build towards this, then of course rest will come, because true rest comes from that relaxation moment of knowing that you took and provided momentum for yourself, moving you towards the next stage. All right. So as I wrap this up, here's really your Mindset Monday challenge. And this is really where this comes from. I want you to really aim not for perfection. Perfection is impossible. I want you to aim for clean follow-ups, clean messaging, clean stories to set up for clean rest. Finish this week really knowing I did what truly mattered to me. I set up my January with strategy. And the number one thing, I didn't disappear. Maybe you're motivated today. You're all here on the call, right? Great. Maybe you're catching this on YouTube and you missed the call because you weren't motivated, right? Just don't disappear. Just take action on the next step, or maybe tomorrow. But if you just don't disappear and you just create the momentum for yourself through taking the small actions, the text message, the LinkedIn message, the email, maybe it's a phone call. If you do that, you'll roll into the holidays not only feeling better about your current situation, but I promise you'll have a direct, grounded, quality approach to your job search when you come back. And you'll be rested and you'll have a clarity. You won't just feel all hyped up. You won't feel like you did shortcuts. You'll really truly build something for yourself around real conversations, around a real strategy that created real momentum for yourself. And the last thing that I'll say is, if this is resonating, if this feels like you need this, get deeper involved in the community. Dive into the Discord. I will be putting up a poll today, setting us up for January for our next mindfulness and health challenge, right? I'll be speaking with Michael. Actually, Michael, great for you to be here. I'm going to be pinging you about some different concepts today. And then I'm going to put a poll up that Tina and I will discuss, and it will go up in the community. And I want your all's thoughts, right? I want January to be so impactful for all of us that everyone in the community is celebrating, no matter if you're a premium monthly member, a premium Discord member, or in the free side of things. I want everybody to get January absolutely rolling so that we can have nothing but celebration inside of this space that we've created for ourselves. I want us to have the belief, I want us to be excited, and I want us to execute. So as I wrap up, before we go to questions, the last thing I'll say is this. If you don't feel like you've got that momentum right now, I want you to take a pause after this call is over, and I just want you to focus in on what is the one simplest thing that you could do that would help create that momentum. And I want you to go execute on that one thing. It's the smallest thing. It might be just getting up. It might be going to get a coffee. It might be taking your phone out and sending one single text message to a friend that you know that you've been avoiding having a conversation with, that can help unlock your job search career. Do it. Take the opportunity and create the momentum for yourself. And I promise you, not only will you feel better, but you'll do a second and a third and a fourth. They're like dominoes. Once you create momentum, you can't stop it. So take your action this week. Let's have some success. And of course, if you're a part of our world, I can't wait to see you on Friday so we can hear about all of these successes, celebrate all those big victories that are coming this week for our community. And I look forward to seeing you guys on our open office hours on Friday. Thank you, guys.